Hello and good evening, meteorologist Mike Adcock here. 7th of May, and we're tracking Typhoon Noul in the Philippine Sea. This is also being referred to as Dodong there in the Philippines. Right now, taking a look at satellite imagery. Much better organized than what we saw this time yesterday. Continued to be steered off to the northwest, thanks in part to the subtropical ridge there off to the northeast. Do have strong outflow aloft, mainly over the western and southern sides of the system. That's helping to develop this system. And low wind shear, and of note, do have about a 17 nautical mile eye with some symmetric convection in and around that. Looking at the latest information from JMA as of 8 p.m. Philippine Standard Time, center of circulation 540 kilometers off to the north-northwest of Palau, or 875 kilometers east-southeast of Verac in Catanduanes. It is moving off to the west-northwest at 20 kilometers per hour. Winds right now sustained at 150 kilometers per hour with gusts up to 215, and our pressure at 955 hectopascal. PAGASA does have public storm warning signal number 1 in effect for Catanduanes and northern Samar. Right now, the biggest threat really is going to be to the lighter structures, as well as to agriculture, rice crops of particular note. Waves right now forecast to be 1.25 to 4 meters with this system. Taking a look at the big picture, you'll note the area of high pressure off to the northeast helping to influence this developing trough, though, south of Japan. That's going to be the key player. I also do want to point your attention to this area of convection there in eastern Micronesia. That is tropical depression number 7, and that one is expected to become tropical storm Dolphin here in the next day or so. Here's the latest surface analysis from JMA again. Of note is that developing trough. That's really going to create an interesting forecast with regards to the extended part, days 3 through 5 of the forecast. Here's the official JMA forecast, though. Right now being influenced by that subtropical ridge. Right now looking at landfall there in Luzon by Sunday. Now you'll notice from this time yesterday a bit of a shift to the west than what we had earlier. Right now looking at landfall in and around Aurora or Isabela. Of course, I want to emphasize that the line here, the center line, really is not what you want to focus on. It's this entire cone, this air of uncertainty, or this cone of uncertainty. So those in eastern Visayas throughout much of Luzon definitely continue to monitor the progress of the storm. Models have kind of been bouncing around as we're trying to identify the orientation of the steering ridge. That's really going to be a big player in the initial landfall there in the Philippines. A little bit later on, here's the this is the PAGASA forecast, but and you'll notice this one takes it into Isabela province, a little bit further to the north and east. But the key situation for the extended forecast is going to be that developing mid-latitude trough. That's going to weaken our ridge and cause Noul to start to recurve off to the northeast. Now, you're going to have that, the land interference that's going to weaken this system, increasing shear, decreasing water temperatures. All these are going to play a factor in the day 4 and 5 forecast. Right now, models are pretty much in favor for this skirting off to the southeast of Taiwan. Looks like that's going to be kind of a rainmaker, maybe some gusty winds for you there in Taiwan come Monday. And then the next threat's going to be Okinawa Prefecture there in Japan. This is going to be more of a Tuesday story. By this point, Noul is expected to begin re-intensifying. Now it's going to be a balance between the re-intensification of the typhoon and transition to a possible extratropical cyclone. And we'll continue to monitor that as we get in through the weekend. Here is all the various forecasts across the western Pacific. And what you'll notice again is over the next couple of days, the agreement with the human forecasters are pretty in close agreement anyway. It's as we're approaching landfall, that's when we start to look into we get into more questions about the steering flow, and that's why you see that variation anywhere from Taiwan's going a little bit more towards southern Aurora. You still have Beijing on the northern eastern edge there, clipping Cagayan and going off to Batanes, and everything in between. Once we do, again, all the agencies are in favor of it recurving off to the northeast. It's really, at that point, just the timing, the intensification, but everybody does see some sort of a threat to Okinawa, so we'll continue to monitor that. That wraps it up for today. Of course, you can get this as well as analysis on soon-to-be tropical storm Dolphin there in the Eastern Carolines over at westernpacificweather.com. You can also follow along on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great day, and take care.